Hi everyone, this is Vikki from fangirlreview.com. We are back, yay! So me and Jay are here to talk about everybody's favorite movie. I know how much Jay loved this movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So Jay, go ahead and say your.
Hey everybody! You can tell by the sound of my voice, I'm ecstatic about this triumph of a movie, this tour de force in
Really?
action and comedy. I can't wait to see the Academy Award nominations that's going to get on this one. Oh
Wait,
boy!
and I heard. I don't know if it's true. I don't know. I'm hearing that it might be greenlit for a sequel.
Already has. It got greenlit today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it got greenlit today.
Okay, so before we get started, um, just so you guys know, this is gonna be spoiler filled. So if you have not seen the movie, don't watch this. If you don't care about hearing spoilers or whatever, cool, stick with us. It will be filled with spoilers, and maybe mini rants or major rants. We'll see how it goes. Okay, Jay. So share a little bit of your thoughts and your experience of seeing the movie.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, people, and this is just me telling the truth. I didn't. The movie is okay. Okay, as a whole, the movie is okay. It's not bad, but it's not particularly good either. It's just okay. I don't hate the movie. I have seen way worse this summer and this year in a movie theater that I paid for that I'm pretty much upset about. But I've seen way worse. So, and to go even further, I am a fan. I'm a fan to the point of I've seen all the TV shows, even the horrible ones. I've read the comics, even the horrible ones. Um, but I'm not one of those fans that can't see when somebody's trying to do like their own, I guess, version or reimagining of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not going to be one of those guys. So believe me when I tell you, the movie. The good things about the movie, because there are some things that I did like when the turtles are on the screen. That's the best time in the movie. When they're on the screen, the action sequences are good. You can actually see the majority of them because there's a couple of them that's going to go in my dislikes. But the action scenes are actually pretty good. The fight choreography is good. Um, I know the turtles' size because they look like little baby Hulks. Honestly.
I don't know. They might have been the same size as the Hulk. I don't know. I'm gonna need to see a side by side comparison for height.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, at first it would get on my nerves, but then, as the movie went on, I got used to it. I got used to it, and it wasn't one of them situations where I was just like, you know what, I'm tired of this. So I get it.
No,
My
I understand what you're saying. After a while, I didn't really.
Yeah,
The height thing didn't bother me. I was kind of like, whatever.
yeah,
But I did enjoy the action sequences and things like that. I Going one step further, I didn't enjoy the weird creep factor that was the Turtles on April O'Neil. I mean, yes, they've always flirted with her and liked her and things of that sort, but like some of the jokes went like a little too much, and it was like, no, I don't want to hear about your shell tightening. That's kind of dirty.
yeah, that was kind of
Um,
creepy.
I'm
That was,
like, and I'm looking at you. I'm like, this looks like some weird stuff that you will see on the internet with tentacles. This needs to stop. And y'all know, if you got that joke, then y'all are just as freaky as the other people watch that tentacle
okay. Uh,
Jay, you understand the joke.
and I will not confirm or deny, but no, I do understand that because at certain points, that part was to me was actually getting creepy. And yes, there always have been one of the turtles that actually had a crush on April, and in this one, it's Mikey, and that was one of my problems. I like Mikey in the movie, but at certain points in the movie, I want him to shut the hell up.
Yes.
I mean, it was he was straddling the line of being the Mikey that everybody knows and loves, and the Mikey that's getting on your damn nerves. And
To
I'm
that jerk that's in the party that just won't shut up because he wants to be center of attention. Yes.
yeah, that. And it was it got to and especially with the whole April O'Neil thing, I'm like, come on, dude, it's not that serious. I'm like, it's it's not that serious. I mean, scale back on that. You know, one or two times, okay, that was funny. That's cool, but stop doing that because now it's just getting straight up creepy and nasty. And I'm just like, dude, it got to the point where I was just like, okay, y'all done ran that joke into the ground. The flirting stuff needs to stop because you had basically Mikey and Will Arnett, who was playing Vern, flirting with April the whole time, and of course Megan Fox with that superb acting that she does, you know, that stellar acting that she does, basically not realizing it. I mean, I don't even know what other way to say it. I mean, she pretty much got on my nerves the whole damn movie, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, while we're talking about April, let's focus on your best friend, your girl there, Jay. She, I mean, she's a pretty plastic face. She is, but like I did not connect to her as April O'Neil. It wasn't there for me.
it wasn't there for anybody.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, it wasn't there for anybody. We'll just put it like I just could I tried, whatever about the red hair, I let that go. Who cares? Whatever. She looks good as a brunette, fine. But it just wasn't believable. And just throwing a yellow leather jacket on her is not selling it to me yet. I'm sorry. And then she was just stupid. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, because April O'Neil's supposed to be an intelligent reporter who does put herself in bad situations, not as bad as like Lois Lane, but pretty bad situations. But I was like, just wanted to choke her. And then they had her riding around on a bike with a big helmet on top of her head. I was just giggling because I was like, I don't see Megan Fox on the bike.
At any point in time.
You also got to know the actors that you're putting in the situation. If I'm looking at her, that's like putting Mariah Carey on a bike in her stilettos. I'm not believing it. I'm sorry. I don't
nobody
care.
and nobody should. And that's one of them situations. Because look, people, the first 20 minutes of this movie is hard to stay in there. Because I was about to get the hell up. Because you're focused on Megan Fox, and I'm sorry. I know she loves to like get on people for talking about her acting ability or lack thereof, mostly lack thereof. But you can't get mad at people when you're the worst thing in the movie. I mean, look, how many movies has she done with CG characters? Transformers 1, Transformers 2, this one, and I think Jennifer's Body has some CG in it. Why in the world why in the world can you still not convey that? I mean, how many times have you done that? I don't understand why it's so hard and it's so unbelievable when she's doing it. You're just like, dude, this is so wooden. This is so fake. Like,
Exactly.
I'm like, damn, girl, I don't even know what to say. As to how bad that was for me just sitting in there. And like I said, it's the first 20 minutes is basically just like pretty much her. You get to see her interactions with Vern, Whoopi Goldberg, who pretty much just shows up for 2 scenes and gets the hell
What
home.
was that? I'm sorry.
That was a waste of.
I'm gonna need you to stop, and we're gonna have to talk about what was that?
I don't know. I'm thinking when they said she was in the movie, I'm thinking, okay, she's probably gonna be in there a good little while. But you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Lawrence Fishburne in Man of Steel with strike 2 extra scenes because she was only in 2 scenes. She was only in 2 scenes.
That's true. Yeah.
That's it. Like Lawrence Fishburne was at least in 4. She was in 2 scenes, and I'm like, who paid for that?
I mean, I know she cost you an arm and a leg. That's all you had her doing.
Yeah.
And what was that wig on top of her head? That offended me.
And,
I was
and
offended by that hair.
and another thing that I didn't understand, and I'm like, because Whoopi Goldberg is a good actress, so
Yes.
why did she is and maybe there's a uncut, maybe a lot of her stuff is on the cutting room floor. I don't know, but at the same time, I'm like, you that's Whoopi Goldberg. You should have gave her more to do than what y'all did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she has so much potential. Like, she could have definitely carried Megan Fox in different parts if they needed help. I mean,
Yeah,
some.
and,
Some.
and okay, well, okay. That aside, let's get into the stuff that I really really didn't like. Plot hole city, people.
Okay,
Plot
so
hole city.
my main gripe is that April, as a child, runs into the burning lab and saves the turtles and Splinter, runs back out, sets them free, like, be safe. What little girl goes in to save pets, fine, whatever, but is not crying hysterically, losing her mind for her father who's being burnt up in the lab?
And
How?
shot.
And shot and burnt up. All kinds of stuff is happening to her father in the lab. How is she so calm that it's okay for her father to get all kinds of burnt up? And then what happened to her mother? Did they ever say what happened to her mother?
Nope.
Then if her dad's gone and we never hear about her mother, was she put in foster care? Who took care of her? Who were her guardians? Like, you need to put that part together. If you're gonna say that her dad died and blah blah blah, fine. But where's her mother? Who became her guardian? The mother died already, and she was technically raised by her father, but her father died when she was at the age of, what, 9 or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 9 or something like that.
What is all of that? They needed to explain it better than that.
And here's the thing, and here's before I even get to the whole turtle story part. Another thing that I didn't like. Will Fichtner is one of my favorite actors as well. Um, I don't understand why they decided to have Will Fichtner. I guess because everybody knows at first he was supposed to be Shredder. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows at first he was supposed to be Shredder. But when they did the reshoot or whatever, apparently they took that and just made him a regular businessman. Now, his the way they made it, the way they played it was basically he works for Shredder. He's Shredder's protege, but you have Karai in the movie. Now, if you know anything about the Ninja Turtles, Karai is Shredder's protege, his right hand woman in some instances, as you will. So there's no need for him. And then they said he's a scientist. Okay, but if he's a scientist, then why didn't you just keep him as a scientist? He don't need to be three things, you know. I didn't understand like what they were trying to do. Like I think when they did that reshoot or redraft or rewrite or whatever they did, they really screwed the pooch on that because I have a way they could have fixed that. I'm gonna save that to the end, but that part was messed up in and of itself. And I actually like Will Fichtner, but I think his part played into a bigger problem that I had with the movie, where the movie kept trying to be at points too funny, not taking itself serious, and then at other points they want to be serious action movie, dark
Yes.
movie, and I'm like, you can't do that. The reason why Guardians of the Galaxy worked so well is because they were like, ain't nobody gonna take this seriously, so we can play this up, and that's why it works. You can't keep going back and forth. You know, whatever your tone is, you got to stick to that tone, and they tonally it was all off. Honestly, it just was. Um, the oh, and here's the funny part. And I think you'll like this one. Uh, well, we know that we have Shadow Shredder in here because you never see Shredder's face. You just see
No.
him in shadow. All right.
Yes.
So and they don't say his name, which most of you should know. If you are a Ninja Turtles fan, you already know it's Orokusaki. They never say the name,
No.
which is a good thing because I don't think that was Orokusaki. But they keep him in shadow. Now, when he is not in his armor, there's three scenes of him not in his armor. The first scene that they show him in, he is tied up and he kills like three mercenaries because the Foot Clan, which I don't know why they call them a clan when they're a bunch of damn terrorists, uh, they, they they're mercs and they walk around with guns. They're not ninjas. He kills three of them. Basically, tells Karai that your men are weak, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. I'm a villain. Um, when they put him in the suit, it's like, dude, I didn't. I want the Shredder that was not in that suit.
Mhm.
Because that Shredder was he was terrifying actually. Um, problem that I have, if you know the story of the Ninja Turtles, and I'm sorry, people, I know that this is their vision, their reboot or whatever, but if you're gonna tell me that this is a reboot, stop daggum trying to give me hints on throwbacks and callbacks to the first movie. All right, when you have a Ninja Turtles movie and you don't even bring up Hamato Yoshi, but Splinter learns ninjutsu from a book.
From a book. Let's talk about it. From
A
a
book.
book. A book that he wiped off the ground.
And
I'm going to learn, and then
it,
I'll teach my sons. Really?
yeah,
No.
that made no sense. All right, that honestly made no sense. And Splinter knows how evil and ridiculous Shredder is. They never showed Shredder in any of those flashbacks at that office, at that
No.
lab. They
No.
never showed him. So how the hell do you know? Secondly, secondly, I'm like, if that's the case, okay, what is the relation between Splinter and Shredder? Because Splinter was still a rat that hadn't been mutated yet. He doesn't get mutated until him and the turtles get mutated pretty much at the same time, where they start growing down in the sewer. How
Mhm.
does he know who Shredder is? Plot hole. That makes no sense. That honestly makes no sense. Now, if they would have went with the whole, Hamato Yoshi thing, him like seeing maybe like, because I know one of my coworkers was like, if they would have just shown like, say like Hamato Yoshi was like a Bruce Lee type movie star or something like that, and he saw it while they were, giving them injections in the lab or something like that, then that would have made more sense. But
Yes.
reading a book that you found in the sewer, come on, man, that didn't fly with me. I'm sorry, that just didn't fly with me. And then him just automatically knowing how evil Shredder is. How do you know that? You should know who the guy is.
Exactly.
Honestly, I mean, going by the story that you have presented, you shouldn't know who Shredder is. You really shouldn't, because y'all have never really met. Because Shredder never came in that lab, or at least they never showed it and they never talked about it. So that I don't understand. Now I will say this: that fight between Shredder and Splinter in the lair, that fight should have
Whoa.
been at the end of the movie because that was
That
the best
fight.
fight in the movie.
That was like, that was UFC without the blood. Like, I was not ready for that level of like just brutal fighting in a Turtles movie. I wasn't ready. Now, if y'all told me this was a UFC fight and they were just dressing up as characters, I'm like, okay, no problem. But it was like, it was like, no, no. I was like, ooh. Like, you had to, like, cover your eyes. Like, you were, like, afraid for how this fight was going to turn out. And I'm like, you can't have little kids watching this. You can't have a 7-year-old in here. I
Yeah,
mean, and if you just take that one little section out, I think it'll be fine for, like, the little kids. But that pushed the envelope.
but that again, that goes back to tonally, they didn't know what they wanted to do. The tone was off in this movie because, like, everybody knows the very first Ninja Turtles film in '90 was darker because that's why a lot of parents complained about it because there was like, they used their weapons.
Yeah.
There was some pretty vicious fights in that first one. So it, like I said, it kind of is one of those situations where tonally they they didn't want people to compare it to the first one, but they kept doing stuff that was in the first one, which to me is you can't do that if you're saying this is a reboot. In my opinion, if you say this is a reboot, that means this is your vision. You have your story. It's all right to have people know what it is, but you don't need to reference any of that because the more you keep referencing, especially if people hold that other series in high regard, they're not gonna hold the new one, and they're just gonna get mad.
Yep.
So yeah, in that fight, while I enjoyed it, I do agree with you on that. It was kind of because, like I said, it was a vicious fight. It was off the. I was
It was
enjoying it.
it was one of them fights you see on on your Facebook page, and you're like, "Ooh, I shouldn't be watching this. Why was somebody recording this? Ooh, this
Yeah.
is like, oh,
But like, and in my theater, there wasn't that many kids, so the kids that were in there, it really wasn't that many. It was more adults, but there was
that's
like
true."
there was like 3 or 4 little kids in there. But
Yeah.
I,
No, my theater was only 21 and up, so you couldn't be under 21 in there
oh,
anyway.
okay. See,
So,
yeah, I didn't have that
well, you know,
luxury. I didn't have that
I
luxury.
had that luxury of my recliners and my drink, so that made the movie a lot better than what it would have been.
Yeah, but let's see what else. What else can I? Robo Shredder. Yeah, no. Um,
With the boomerang knives that he called back with through magnetic whatever, and
and
then he
that
would shoot him back out, and then call him back, and shoot him back. I'm like, what the
here's the
hell is that?
problem. Here's the problem with that, especially during that Splinter fight. Splinter has a sword in his hand. When he started calling them blades back, all Splinter would have had to do was let it go. He would have stabbed him right in the neck. That's all he would have had to do. That's one. That's another problem I had. I'm like, if you're saying he's calling these blades back magnetically, that sword is metal. All Splinter would have had to do was let it go, and it would have stabbed
Yeah.
him dead in his neck.
And then how wasn't he calling back all the rest of the metal that I'm sure was in the
Yeah,
sewer?
I
How
mean,
did that work?
yeah. Once again, that's why they should have never put that in there to begin with. I know visually it looks cool, but it makes no sense. Yes, it looks cool. That does not mean it makes sense. So that part, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I threw my hands up. I'm just like, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride now. At this point, I'm out of it. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride
Like, I'm
because
done. I'm done. Throw the towel
like
in. I'm
I,
done.
I'm not gonna try to make sense out of this no more because I just need to go with it. At that point, that's when I realized I just need to go with it. As far as the turtles are concerned, I'm not gonna lie. I thought they did an okay job on the turtles. My
Yeah,
pro,
I wasn't bothered. I mean, besides the size, other than that, like I wasn't bothered. Yeah, I think they pushed the quote unquote geek look on Donatello a little too hard for me. But
that was my problem. I'm like, look, we all know Donnie's the genius, the nerd or whatever. I know nerds don't act like that. So why you got to put them like that? I'm like I said, and I said it before the movie before I even go through
yeah,
the movie. I didn't like how they had the glasses on them. I didn't like all that tech stuff. I don't like the exaggeration of all that stuff on them. Look, we know they CG. You ain't got to put all that stuff on them, dude. Like I said, you say they're ninjas. Why are they having all this stuff on that's not even, I don't see no smoke bombs. I don't see no but you got all this other stuff on them. I mean, that was killing me. But I didn't like how they did Donnie. And the other thing that I didn't like, even though Donnie and Mike are the two, they pretty much kind of, I feel like they focused on them a little bit more than Raph and Leo. And you kind of didn't get to see uh each of their specialties really. Not
mhm,
not really. I mean, they showed it at times, but like Leo doesn't do anything to actually show that he's a leader in the movie. Really, he doesn't. Raph gets mad, but it's easy to show Raph getting mad. Raph in the first one got mad at the air, so it's easy to show Raph get mad. Mikey is the fun one, everybody knows that, and Donnie is the nerd. But they didn't do anything that really like, in my opinion, showcase that. really. Not like the first one did, at least.
Yeah.
The first
Like,
movie at least showed like what they were good at, and then fighting wise, their how different their styles were. So I that kind of killed it for me. But like I said, once again, at that by that point, I gave up trying to make sense of it. I had really and truly gave up trying to make sense of it. And I think when I did that and I just let go, that's when I'm like, you know what? This it's actually the action sequences are actually saving it for me, and the way the turtles are acting with each other is actually saving it for me, and the comedy is actually not killing it. It's
yeah, comedy
actually
wasn't that bad. They had a cute little sequence in the elevator.
yeah, the elevator is probably the best. The elevator is the best comedic sequence of the movie, actually.
Yeah.
It
That's so
really
sad.
is. Now, do you want to talk about the snowbank scene that's all in all the trailers and stuff?
Oh gosh.
We
Oh.
kind of have to talk about it a little bit
Oh.
because it's not a bad
How
scene. It's just takes too
how
long.
are they all sliding down this mountain filled with trees in a tractor trailer, being chased by Hummers and guns and things? And they whip out the humans out of the tractor trailer before it goes over the cliff and blah blah blah. And the humans walk away from it with no injuries?
Uh
How?
huh.
I mean, ignoring that the turtles are okay, but Raph's shell was already cracked, but ignoring all of those problems, how do the humans walk away with no bumps and bruises or nothing? Everybody knows if you're just sledding down a hill in a little tube, parts of your body's gonna hurt. But
Yeah.
you're getting thrown all about. Like come on. I was like, I'm done. I need I need for when they put humans through this type of stuff that they treat humans as humans. I mean, I'm not saying that they need to die.
I am.
Because I know if Mythbusters was to remake all of that to see if humans could really survive through it, you know all of those pressure meters will be tripped. You know it'll be a wrap. All the bones will be broken in Buster's body. It'll be over. So it's like, come on, like I need a broken arm. I need something. I need to know. I need blood. I need something. I need to know that they didn't just walk away from that with pretty hair.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's one of those situations where you're like, okay, you see like, and this is all in the trailer too, by the way. So we're really not spoiling it at this point, but who cares? You see Raph pretty much slingshotted into a Hummer. The Hummer that has Karai in it and another foot soldier flips a couple times and hits a tree. She's okay.
She's
No, she
fine.
shouldn't be. No, she shouldn't be. Because she's like, okay, why are you still breathing? You shouldn't be breathing.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm sorry, because Raph hitting that Hummer crushes the side of that Hummer. Like, it completely crushes it. And when it flips, it hits the tree full tilt. So I'm like, okay, what in the world? Why is she alive? It was little things like that was it was ridiculous, but just like, okay, at certain points, at some point, you just have to say like, you know what, I'm gonna go with it. And
Exactly. I'm just accepting it. Whatever. What our unicorn is gonna prance down the mountain next? Okay, sure. You know what? They were created by the ooze. Fine. April saved them too. Okay, no problem. I believe it. Like I'm just done.
yeah, at that point, at that point, I just feel you just have to be. I mean, I don't even. I mean, I know some people didn't have a problem with that. I kind of did because once again, like I said, I really wouldn't have a problem with it if tonally they knew what they wanted to be tone wise. But because they didn't know what they wanted to be tone wise, it's hard for me to like feel like I should care when I know they're gonna be all right.
Mhm.
I mean, it's hard for me to do that. Like that scene going down that ice bank should have been intense as I don't know what. It wasn't. I didn't feel it. I'm sorry, I didn't feel. I knew that was going to be all right. So
That's true.
I didn't feel anything.
There was no
Um,
angst. You didn't have to feel
yeah,
angst because you knew everybody's gonna walk away from it. So.
yeah. Especially by that time in the movie, you knew everybody was going to walk away. So it's just one of those. It's another one of those situations. Now, after that, we get to the final climactic fight sequence. Now, people, I don't know if you like the Amazing Spider-Man. Um, if you do, you probably don't even care about this part. Then you probably went with it. How do you steal the plot point from the from the first Amazing Spider-Man and use that as your big plan or whatever? You're going to poison the city exactly like you did in Amazing Spider-Man,
Yeah.
except turning everybody into lizards is going to kill everybody in Ninja Turtles. This is the same exact setup. Tallest building. We put gas canister on top of the tallest building to disseminate deadly toxin to city with the whole ticking time bomb thing that we got to stop before the gas gets out.
Before you go into your rant about this,
Mm-hmm.
why? Why is there always a countdown? So you give the heroes time to stop it. How about you just set it off? There's no countdown, or there's a 5 second countdown. Like just set it off. Like just be done with it. No 5 minutes. A lot can happen in 5 minutes. Guess what happens in 5 minutes? It doesn't actually go off because the heroes came and saved the day. No, I want one of those movies. I want an alternate ending. I want an alternate ending in which it actually happens and the city is destroyed. That's
Well,
what I want.
this is the problem. Now, if they would have did the whole ticking time bomb where like Shredder himself had to get out of there, and that's what the 5 minutes was for, I would have bought that. But he was just standing there like it was nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you don't give a damn, then why should I care?
Yeah,
And
because like if Shredder was running away, like set it off, I'm running, and then the turtles were trying to chase after him. Maybe he had a special switch in his hand. They got chased after him. Blah blah blah.
or they don't realize it until like it's like 2 minutes left, and oh crap, somebody needs to go, and it's like two of them they have to split up. Two of them fight
Two of them trying to
Shredder
defuse it.
or keep Shredder busy, and the other two go. That would have been better.
So
But I mean, yeah, that part kind of blew me because it was a cliche. It was the cliched ending. I'm like, y'all could have did something other than that. I'm like, do something better than what I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Or do something like that's not gonna be seen by everybody else in a theater that watches movies regularly, basically. Like, geez. And if you're gonna do something different that hasn't been done in the same year at some point or within the last couple years. Like do something
hmm
like that different. But yeah, I'm one of those people that like you know what? Like I said, at certain points in this movie, I gave up on trying to make it make sense, and I was just like, okay, within your own story, if you're not making sense, how can you expect me to make sense of this? Because I'm supposed to be following your story. Because like everybody knows, this is supposed to be a reboot. So if this is supposed to be a reboot, then we should be doing something brand new. And I just felt like yes, there are some stuff that's new in here, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's either very cliched they when or they had a story when they did their reshoot or whatever. Because everybody knows this movie had a reshoot because at first it wasn't even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was just Ninja Turtles, and they were aliens. They weren't teenagers and all that. So we know they went through a couple of reboots. You know, we
That's a
know they went through
shame.
a couple of reboots and redrafts and rewrites.
That's
So
a shame that they had to do all that and still came out with this. Just
yeah,
saying. Just
and yeah,
saying.
I,
I think next time what needs to happen is that they show the movie to me and you, Jay, first.
and
They let us tear it apart. Tell them where they're going horribly wrong, or if you don't want it, okay, wait, nope, save your money. Give us the script and let us read through it.
the funny thing about it is it's funny that you say that because like I listen to the Double Toasted guys. I don't know if you guys if you ever have listened to the Double Toasted. It's Corey Coleman and Leah and Martin from the old Spill.com movie review, and they said something that I thought was very important. They're like, maybe this script what it really needed was a punch up because like I said, certain stuff doesn't make sense. Certain stuff is just like is just it's left. It's just not cohesive at all, and maybe it just needed a punch up. And I'm thinking that's what could have helped this movie out. One of the things I was thinking about to actually have fixed it was to hey, okay, leave Will Fichtner as Eric Sachs as Shredder. Leave him as the protege. Leave him as the Shredder. Leave the Foot as the mercenaries or whatever. And at the end of the movie, have the real Orokusaki show up. Have the real Orokusaki show up. Have the real Karai show up. Have the real ninjas show up. And basically, like, you know what? You a bumbling idiot. You failed. You didn't do the plan right. They pretty much kill the mercs, leave Sax alive because they have to, and pretty much that way you can have your setup into two. But they didn't do that. They went that route, and I'm like that would to me would have been better than
Mm-hmm.
what they did because having Shadow Shredder in there and it just they shouldn't have did that. They should have just stuck to what they were doing, and then at the end have the real Shredder, the real Karai, the real Foot show up, and then be like, okay, now we going into, you know, with the real ninjas show up, and to me that would have been a whole better movie, and have it where like, yeah, they were having trouble with Eric Sachs. What they gonna do when they have to fight, you know, Orokusaki, and that would have made sense as to how Splinter was beating the mess out of Shredder in that layer. I mean, all that to me would have made sense. It still wouldn't have did anything about the whole April O'Neil having them as pets and then letting her dad die to save them. I still don't buy that, but
I don't think you can save that.
yeah, I
This is
mean,
the thing. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, that whole reveal thing kind of just like when they did the reveal, I'm like, wow, y'all could have kept that to yourself. So you really could have kept that to yourself. Um, yeah, like I said, like despite my gripes with it, like I said, it's not a complete waste. And like I said, I've seen worse movies this year, but the problem is this movie suffers from what Transformers suffers from, and that's when you make what the story's main characters, which are the Turtles, Shredder, Splinter, the side characters, and make the human characters who should be the side characters the main characters. Because Megan Fox and Werner are actually played up as the main characters, and the Turtles are just like the sidekicks. It, that shouldn't be the case. You know, it should be the other way around. Like Shredder, Splinter, the Turtles, the Foot Clan, those are the main characters in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story, not April O'Neil, Vern Fenwick, all of them. I mean, that was my problem with it. That's been my problem with the Transformers movies as a whole. Is basically they flopped who the main characters is and who the side characters are. And
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do a sequel and you already got your date already set up, because for some reason it's coming out in 2016. I want to say they had it set for May, like a week after Captain America. Good luck.
But
Um,
2016, because that's Captain America. Isn't Guardians 2016? Isn't there a lot of stuff 2016?
there's a lot of stuff 2016 because the the Batman Superman movie comes out. Well, they moved it up to March, but yeah, that's gonna kick it off. It's gonna be March. That then there's supposed to be something in April. Then May is Cap 3, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think either Guardians of the Galaxy or the other mystery movie. The
Okay.
other mystery Marvel movie is supposed to come
Part
out in
of
Guardians.
Marvel's world domination plan.
I guess.
I
And
forget.
Guardians.
Somebody said that to me, and I thought that was the most hilarious thing. I can't remember who said
Well, well, from a movie standpoint, it's working.
that.
But yeah, this one, I'm just like, I'm not gonna, be like a total fanboy and be like, this is just the most horrible thing. Mm, they're screwing my childhood. I'm not gonna say that. To me, it's a rental, and the reason why I say it's a rental is because now people have 60-inch televisions with 7.1 surround sound sitting in their house. You don't have to go to the theater to see that. I'm sorry. If it was a better movie, in my opinion, then yeah, you know, yeah, I'd say matinee it. But if it's if you are just a fan and you just got to watch it, go matinee. At least you won't be paying full price for it. I'm like, but me personally, I think it's a rental because I've seen. Uh, it's not a bad movie, and it's not a good movie. It's just an okay movie to me.
Yeah.
That's all I can leave it as.
It's a movie that I don't think you should pay for. Have somebody pay for you, or wait for Netflix. So at least it's part of your account.
Now, since the sequel did get greenlit, hopefully they'll find a way to like fix some of the problems in it, like Megan Fox's acting, and uh,
Well, wasn't she supposed to be taking a break from acting?
that's what she said. I hope she meant it.
Maybe we can get Emma Watson in there instead.
Well, here's the problem. Like, here's the problem that I had. Like, there was the cast list like actually came online when it first broke that they were doing the movie, and I think like on that list was like Amy Adams, Anna Kendrick, it was Amy Adams, Anna Kendrick, Emma Stone, and another Emma. Was it Emma Watson? It might have been Emma
Probably
Watson.
Emma Watson.
So that was the cast listing for like the people that they wanted for April O'Neil, and they
Could
went
you
with Megan
imagine if
Fox.
they actually had Emma Watson with those big behind turtles? Emma is so small.
Yeah,
Oh my
well,
gosh, that would have not worked.
me personally, I thought, me personally, I was rooting for like Anna Kendrick or Amy Adams, but that was just me. But because when they said that, I'm like, okay, they could probably pull off April because April is supposed to be like, uh, she's a tough, she's a tough chick. She's not like she's more like a tomboyish
Yeah.
type woman, and that was one of the things because that was one of the things I think old girl got right in the first one. Judith Hogg that played her in the first one, she was kind of like she wasn't oh my god save me type woman. She she was
Yeah.
like she was trash talking. She had
Mhm.
a smart mouth. I'm like, dude, that worked for me. I mean, she couldn't back it up, but yeah, that worked for me. But I mean, it, it's one of those things, and I know I've been saying a lot about the first one, but that's because they kept doing references to the first one. I wouldn't have did that
Yeah,
if they wouldn't.
they tried to connect it to the first one and just failed miserably.
Yeah, I mean they kept doing like those stupid little references, like the whole Leo chopping up a pizza and it falling on Splinter's head, and they had lines from the first one. They even had a line from the cartoon. Tonight I dine on turtle soup. Really, bruh? You did not just say that. Shadow Shredder said, "Tonight I dine on turtle soup."
Yep.
James Uncle Phil should have got mad at that. Uncle Phil is rolling around in his grave because of that. Yeah, kids. For those of y'all who don't know, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince actually was the voice of Shredder in the '80s cartoon. Fun fact for you. That's a little fun fact for you. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, wow, dude, y'all really did that. I can't believe y'all actually did that, and did it with a straight voice. Nobody was laughing. I'm like, wow,
Like, are you
okay.
serious now, bruh? Are you serious?
I'm like, you really shouldn't have said tonight I dine on turtle soup. You could have just said nothing and just turned around and walked out. I would have been fine with that. But I mean, like I said, not a bad movie, not a good movie. It has its plot holes. The action and the comedy and the interaction between the turtles themselves actually, to me, save the movie. It saves the movie a lot. The if they do, since we know they're doing a sequel, hopefully they do something about the CGI for Splinter, because that freaked me out. I mean, they didn't have to make
Oh
him look like that. So
no.
yeah, I mean, hopefully
And
they'll
because
fix that.
of that, I was looking up hairless rats. Scary naked mole rat thing that freaked me out. And then I shared it with everybody because I want everybody else to be freaked out too.
Yeah, I really wish you wouldn't have did that. That I'm gonna have nightmares tonight because of that. Thank you, by the way.
No problem. No problem. I'll send another private message for you.
Please don't. Please don't. You don't have to do. That's not necessary.
I should change my profile picture and make it that.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's all I got on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we basically attacked or shared our thoughts. Excuse me, not attacked. Shared our thoughts on everything that was wrong with it. Also, it's supposed to be based out of Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
Manhattan? Yeah. So there's no such thing as a Channel 6 news in Manhattan, FYI. There's no Channel 6. Channel 6 is a Spanish channel, FYI.
Really?
Yeah. It's Channel. If you're going to Channel 6, close one would be Channel 7. If you were going with the ABC. There's no such thing as Channel 6 news. FYI.
Gotcha.
Okay. I just had to share that last little tidbit about all the problems I had with the movie. Yes. Okay, so I guess we're basically done. I hope you enjoyed our views of the movie, if you will. I think this weekend coming up we have Expendables 3, right? Are you going to go check that out, Jay?
Yeah, I'm going to watch that. I need something to watch.
To cleanse your palate.
Yeah. I need some 80s action movie ridiculousness that I know is going to be stupid, that it's not trying to be serious.
Yeah. And blowing stuff up, and you have Wesley Snipes looking like he's straight out of jail. So,
that's where they want to pick them up from.
oh, it's just, oh my gosh, it's just so messy. So, okay, so Jay, I guess say your closing, if you will.
Well, it's been a fun discussion. This is Jay from the Game Cafe. People, don't get too crazy about it. Like I said, it's just a movie, and these are just opinions. But like I said before, it's okay. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's just okay. But hey, I think if you want to watch it, rent it. That way you won't be mad at me for spending money for it. But yeah, that's just me. Have a good one.
All right, everybody, this is Vikki from fangirlreview.com. We'll be back again, obviously sharing our thoughts on trailers and movies and everything else. If there's anything in particular you want us to review, definitely leave a comment. And thank you for watching. Take care.